due to a botched medical procedure years ago, I have a chronic pain condition. I was alone by choice for years prior, but now I feel trapped in that space. It's hard to admit this, but I just find the thought of how could anyone want to engage with me with all this difference, difficult needs around my physical body and pleasure. I'm also stuck in the space between pain and pleasure. How do we have a relationship with pleasure when chronic pain is so present?
Mm. Oh, there's so much to say here. I mean, this is so beautiful. Thank you, by the way, everybody, for chipping in. These are not easy things to talk about, especially vis-a-vis ourselves. So anyway, thank you. You know, um, I think so. For one, is uh, it may be, especially with a botched surgery. I mean, there's not only are you living with the sort of physical fallout of that, but just the emotional that this was a mistake. That this shouldn't have happened. This wasn't nature just doing its thing. All that is to say, this is very complicated psychologically. And so I guess before even touching sex, have you grieved well? Have you mourned what you've lost? What's that part of you that's gone now? Have you really let yourself grieve that? Have you worked through some of the anger that I would imagine comes with the botched procedure, et cetera? So kind of catching up with yourself and getting right with yourself in all these ways before even thinking about sex, maybe. Or sex could be a way to actually kind of catalyze some of those other things. I don't think there's a prescription here. But just to say, even the way into sex may be have nothing to do with sex, like grief, like mourning, like having a safe place to emote and get a lot of stuff off your chest, etc. Looking yourself in the mirror, trying to reacquaint yourself with this new body of yours and treat it like a new body, like a newborn. So find that openness, like it's what is your body now, not what it was. So a lot of that work may be by yourself and with perhaps a psychotherapist or with someone close in. But I think once some of that work is in place, then you can more wholeheartedly turn your attention to, okay, this is the body I have now. Let's see what I can find in here. What feels good? Is it touching the elbow? Is it the toenail? Is it, is it even a thought? Is it a visual image? What? Just be open to being even surprised what might turn you on. And it may be a very subtle signal. Just start with what feels good, or even start with what feels not bad. And then you can kind of go from there. So, but Sonia, would you mind rereading the question? I want to make sure I didn't miss a nuance to it.
Yeah, let's see. Where can I hit it here?
Sorry.
No problem. How could anyone want to engage with me with all this difference, difficult needs around my physical body and pleasure? I'm stuck in the space between pain and pleasure. How do I have a relationship with pleasure when chronic pain is present?
Hmm. Well, pain and pleasure. I saw a movie years ago. I can't remember. There was this, I think it was called Bob something or other, Super Masochist, and it was a really eye-opening film for me about sort of the headiness of the S&M community and how this man who had uh, cystic fibrosis and a lot of chronic pain and all sorts of things that go with CF. And as a kid, he was in pain so much that he realized he needed to have a relationship to pain. That the idea of just wishing pain away or medicating pain away wasn't going to do the trick. But there was still too much pain in the picture. So he had to orient himself to that pain, and he began to explore what charge came with the pain. And before he knew it, he had connected erogyny to the pain, and his own exploration as in S&M world was around that, was working with his pain and flipping it. It was really stunning to see. It was a serious film. Um, so for you too here, is there any charge to this pain? Or is there can you kind of almost, heighten the contrast between pain and the relief of pain? Might be a way to get you even more sensation going, is a sieve back and forth in and out of pain. There may be something to there for you. I don't know, but that's potential. The last thing I want to say here is, I know it may feel like no one, like you may feel unsexy. You may wonder that why anyone or how anyone could find you sexy. Again, if I heard your comment right, But I don't know, whoever you are, I can almost guarantee that someone out there would. It probably starts though with yourself, like we are saying. So reorient to yourself, get right with your own body, with yourself to the degree that's possible. And it's amazing to me what flows from that. When each of us sort of embodies ourselves in a certain way, we carry ourselves in a certain way, we hold ourselves in a certain way. There's perhaps a confidence or something that flows from that that can be very attractive. So I've found that in my own life when I was in the bed, freshly losing 3 limbs, I wondered the same thing. Who the hell was going to want this, whatever this thing was, my body at that point, And I was surprised to find that plenty of people did, and some folks ran away from it, but some folks were attracted to it, and you know, but it took years and years of me kind of working on myself too, and I still wonder too. I mean, we can go on and on about my experience, but just to say, I almost guarantee you that someone out there would find you attractive. I think I would just start with yourself and see if you can find yourself attractive. That might be the best place to go now.
Someone found the documentary you're speaking about. It's called Sick, The Life and Death of Bob Flanagan, Super Masochist.
There you go. Thank you. Remarkable film, if I remember it correctly.